You are listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Your hosts are Wole, Glen, and Mo. The homie Ray is out. What is good, fellas?
What's
Hey
going
man,
on?
it's good times here, man. That's good, man. I'm doing well, Get to talk football.
It's
That's
great,
it.
man. It's the Heinicke era. We'll talk about that later, though. It's the Heinicke era, dog. Oh, wow.
Depends on how long, and just for how long, though.
So I'm amazed by this organization sometimes. All right, so hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, that little red button. And then also the little thumbs up. Hit that button on multiple videos. I'm all about helping out the algorithms recognize our videos. So do that. Help us make us great. Appreciate y'all. All right, here you go. It's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll talk about the Washington Commanders beating the Chicago Bears 12-7. If you want to call that winning, whatever. And their upcoming game against the Green Bay Packers. All right, man. As I mentioned, Thursdays. 12-17. Commanders beat the Bears. I'm gonna start with you, Mo. Can the Commanders build off that victory?
I mean, I think it was trending that way, and then the news broke was it yesterday that Carson's going to be out. I've heard multiple reports, 4 to 6 weeks.
No, it's about 4 to 6 weeks. It's probably about
4 to 6 weeks with the broken finger. So
he got surgery. He already got surgery. So.
When you talk about momentum, I think momentum typically comes when you play a solid game or you have a solid performance. When I was watching that game last Thursday night, it was an ugly game. It was an ugly game all around. Outside of Brian Robinson scoring his first NFL touchdown and actually getting all the carries for the game, it seemed like they made a decision in that department that he's the guy. The D-line did what we thought the D-line was going to do going into that game, right? Because we knew that Chicago had a horrendous offensive line. We knew that Justin Fields and that offense were not clicking the way they needed to. David Montgomery was just coming back. Outside of one big play by Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
I think, and Pettis.
I think
Pettis kind of caught the defense by surprise.
He caught Fuller again.
Yeah, I think they thought like it was a substitution or something like that. Like it looked like not broken, but it looked like people's feet were still on the plate.
Oh, it looked like Fuller was stuck. He didn't pay attention correctly.
Yeah, it looked like
that's a whole different
thing.
thing.
Exactly. It looked like people's feet were stuck. It seemed like it was like how they snap the ball and it's like, is it a dead play or not? Is it live? Yeah. And then it was a beautiful throw out the pocket by Justin Fields.
It's a great throw.
Which makes a lot of people, which is what makes a lot of people still
in favor of him.
In favor of him and his upside, and just hoping that the coaching staff can do what they need to do for him. But it was an ugly game, man. And the team won, so can't be mad. You got to take the W's however you can. I know it was Ron Rivera's first W back at Soldier Field. So until the news broke that Carson was out, I think you could have thought that. But now that you look at the schedule, the Colts are coming in, winners of 3 out of the last 4 of their games.
The Packers, the Colts,
Yeah, so I'm sorry, the Packers. The Packers are coming in.
Then you got the Colts.
I'm looking ahead.
No, it's cool.
Tripping. But like you got Aaron Rodgers coming in, who is always Aaron Rodgers. Even though they have some struggles right now. And then you have the Colts coming in after that, and you have Minnesota right now sitting at 5-1. So when you look at the forecast over the next 3 games, you got a new quarterback coming in. I'm very interested in that man upstairs whose name we are not going to say and how he's going to call it. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off when Heinicke gets in the game because we're all of a sudden going to see a new offense that could have been there the past couple of weeks, right? And with all that said, I think it's a tall order to expect Heinicke to come in, even though he was the full-time starter last year, to come in this week, beat Aaron Rodgers and gain some momentum against some teams that are on the plus side of 500.
Yeah. But Glenn, I'm gonna go with you with the same question, but we're gonna stick with the Bears in terms of like, we talked about it a little bit, but for real, we didn't. You asked this question though. After this W and some of the stuff that's transpired a little bit, can this team build off of that W?
Can they build off this W? Yeah. You always try to build off a win, right? Regardless of who your quarterback is, and the motto is next man up, right? The next man up. So you want to build off this win, whether you have Carson Wentz or Taylor Heinicke or Sam Howell, whatever the case may be. Again, next man up. You have to build off this win in order to keep pace with the New York Football Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys, right? You have to create momentum here. The question is, can the coaching staff keep these guys motivated, right? Can the coaching staff keep them motivated to do what they need to do? Because guess what? Looking at the schedule, I know we schedule how, yes, they can build momentum off of this to answer the question. The Green Bay Packers are coming up.
Yep.
The Green Bay Packers, I watched the game on Sunday. The Green Bay Packers are not the Green Bay Packers. No one's scared of the Green Bay Packers, right? Aaron Rodgers is who Aaron Rodgers is. The offensive line is not there. They're missing some receivers. They're missing some running game. They're not who the Green Bay Packers are. Can this Washington football team, this can be a momentum thing for them if they go out and play well. As Mo was alluding to, we have not seen them play well. Yeah. They didn't play well in the Bears game, right? Yeah. They didn't play well. It took, it took them the last drive kind of first week to
a special teams turnover.
A special teams turnover, right? Special teams turnover, which gave them a short field.
Yeah.
To able to put this game in the bag. And again, I've said it every week since we've been on the show. Special teams has killed them. So again, they didn't play a perfect game. Defense played a good game against a bad Bears team. Yep. You want to build momentum off of this. I think the momentum will come because they had extra days to rest and extra days to prepare.
I think that you can build momentum off the defense. I just feel like, over the last some odd weeks, I've said this, like, regardless of how people feel about Jack Del Rio, I don't really care for him. But, if we would be, we're not going to be biased. We're going to be unbiased in the situation that, this defense has improved over the last some odd weeks. Even the game against the Eagles, where the offense had basically the Commanders' offense had the Washington Commanders' defense on the field 24/7. You know what I mean? And they had to go against Jalen Hurts often. You know what I mean? But they played decent, but you can't hold up against that Philadelphia Eagles team if you're on the field 24/7, right? So, and we've seen that even in the Detroit game where they were on the field, all those 3 and outs, and they had to be on the field long. I said this before, when his defense is rested, they're decent enough. And they would be rested because they're limited in 3 and outs because they started to run the ball a little bit more. So his defense is getting average rest or close to average rest. Before they weren't they were getting below average rest. They were always on the field. So now they're getting some rest, and I think you're seeing it with the pass rush. You got Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne playing at a high level. I think Jonathan Allen has 5 sacks and Daron Payne has 4. Sweat is now stepping up. He has like 3.5 sacks now, to a point where he wasn't having sacks. Now he has 3.5. So, and then you're looking at if you're this team, and you were talking about the Packers going up against the Packers are coming up next, and you see, how teams have been putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers and putting him down. If you're the Commanders front 4, you're like, okay, this is a chance to eat some more. So if I had anything of giving this team confidence or giving this team something to build off of, it's the constant play of the front 4. Like, that's what I look at. Everything else I don't really care for. I just know, I was gonna be honest with you, the front 4 is when I look at it as a fan watching this team, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a thing that I can see. Like, even, linebacking play, Jamin and Holcomb, they're improving. Holcomb is starting to improve, getting a lot of tackles. Jamin's getting better, little by every game now with more time. Ooh, who would have thunk it? So, like, when you do, like, that front 7, I've been like, all right, I've been cool with. Secondary still has its issues. The play to Mooney dropped it. He could have caught it. He dropped it. A lot of people are going to say, like, St. Juice had a great defensive play. He was there, but Mooney catches the ball. We're not talking about that. He was bobbled, and then St. Juice kind of got there to kind of help that situation out. But there's an improvement. St. Juice outside is better than what they were dealing with. Kendall Fuller is still a problem. That hasn't changed. I'm always gonna give flowers to Curl, because Curl played well. So there's certain elements that you can always be happy with. And Forrest is playing well at the other side, as a Buffalo nickel at times, where utilize him as well as safety. So I feel like there's some positives on the defensive side of football. Offensive side, I don't know what you can build off of that, but we've talked about Mo mentioned.
You can build one thing. Go ahead. One thing on offensive side. what you can build is continue to build upon the running game with Brian Robinson.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that you can build. You talked about the defense having rest.
Yeah.
The way to keep the rest is you have built a running game with Brian Robinson and Gibson. And that's how you help everybody out. So they can build on the running game.
And this is what comes to the next point. This is what Mo was talking about in terms of the injury to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is down, fractured finger, should be out 4 to 6 weeks. But which Mo mentioned, it was announced today, but everybody knew like yesterday, that Taylor Heinicke will be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders for the upcoming future. Yeah, man. I'm gonna spin this a different way because a lot of people I'm not going to talk about how. I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to say, so for you, Mo, I'm starting with you. What are the advantages of Taylor Heinicke as the Commanders quarterback?
I think familiarity, right? Familiarity is there. Although, last year he was full-time starter for the most part.
About 15 games.
15. I mean, all but 2, right? So
about 4. Yeah, 15. Yeah, about 15. Mm-hmm.
All but 2. But so he got some familiarity there. So he knows the offense.
Sure.
Your second year in the offense, you typically are thinking less. You're just reacting, right? Next thing for me is I think he's a little bit more elusive than Carson Wentz. He will use his feet. We know where all the fans became smitten with him was that playoff game, that run on that sideline where he dove and laid it all out. So he has that ability, right? He has backyard football style ability, right?
True.
And for me personally, I think that when backups come in,
yes, sir.
The beautiful thing about backups are that they know who to throw the football to. So now 17 will get the football because
he's gonna try to force it.
Because when backups come in the game, they naturally go to the best player on the field because it's like, oh, he's over there somewhere, and that kind of syndrome, right? And even building off of last game, I was wondering why it took last game. I saw somewhat of an emphasis early on to get Terry the ball, right? I saw. Was it a reverse or like a jet sweep or something like that?
Yes, yeah,
I saw a jet sweep. I saw some short routes to get him involved early, but then they didn't go back to him, right? And I know the defense probably shifted over because Jahan Dotson wasn't there, and whatnot. But you talk about familiarity, you talk about being mobile, and you talk about targeting 17, who's the best player on the offense. I think that's the pros of Taylor Heinicke, and that's what he's going to bring. And this team already knows who he is. He's a spark plug. They rally around him. We've seen that. So that can be in their favor. The only thing that I see not in their favor is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's hard. It's hard.
I just want you to get his advantage, though. I want you to talk about how.
When I think of his advantages, that's what I think of. I just think of he knows the offense. So a little bit more of the playbook could probably be used. Yeah, he's elusive. He won't sit there in the pocket and just get hit. He'll get out of there. He'll try to extend the plays with his legs. He'll run, try to keep drives alive. And the team rallies around him, and he knows who to find in the offense.
Facts. Hey, so Glenn, his advantages. What does he bring to the table?
He brings to the table is just as Mo talked about, the energy, right? He's a winner. He brings excitement.
Not a winner.
I'm gonna say hold on. No, I'm gonna say in his mind he's a winner.
Okay, in his mind.
In his mind he's a winner, right?
Oh, that's fair.
In his mind, he knows his advantages is he's gonna bet on him. He's gonna be a gunslinger, right?
Okay.
He knows his time in Washington is limited. So he's like, look, he's coming with. And in this situation, he's in a no-lose situation, right?
Yeah, facts. I agree with it. I agree.
He's in a no-lose situation. So look, guess what? Open it up as you want. I'm gonna be a gunslinger. I'm gonna take chances. I'm gonna take risks. That's an advantage for this Washington offense who's been stagnant, right? The Washington offense who has been predictable. I dare not say if you have a Taylor Heinicke against the Tennessee Titans that he doesn't take off and call his own number and run, right?
Oh yeah, he's definitely
right.
Gonna try. Yeah,
he's definitely going to try. So again, that's an advantage there. With it, also an advantage is with now a running game, a consistent running game with Brian Robinson, and we'll see more J.D. McKissick now since Taylor Heinicke is the quarterback. because you'll see more check downs. You see more short routes. You wouldn't see as many deep balls. So that's an advantage for the Washington offense to stay on the field a little bit longer to help the defense out. And that's an advantage there. Another advantage, Mo mentioned, he knows the system. And we're going to see if Jahan's back. I think he got one more week out. That he can play with Jahan and Terry, right? To see how it does this. And the last one is he extends plays. When you have a quarterback who can extend plays, it allows guys to scramble. Your receivers scramble routes, and cornerbacks and stuff come up, and so they can be able to find your tight end or your receiver deep, where a cornerback is looking to make a tackle or safety is looking to make a tackle. More so, and your scrambling quarterbacks and your receivers, what we call scramble drills, are able to find a hole in the safety or a zone or even man and get the ball.
Yeah, man, his advantages, man. My man on Facebook, my man Rob says he's mobile. Yeah, he's mobile. I will add, he has heart. I've heard he knows the system.
When you say he has heart, do you mean that he has that underdog mentality?
That kind of underdog mentality. He has heart. You know, I give credit. Like I said this before, Mo and Glenn, y'all heard me. If his arm can match his heart, we wouldn't have this discussion. Like I believe that. I would. We would have this discussion. You know what I mean? But it doesn't. You know what I mean? And all the qualities I've heard people mention about Taylor Heinicke, it's nothing about some of the most important things about playing the quarterback position. It's not about being accurate. It's not even about having an arm. It's always the same thing.
But do you think
the system?
Do you think, Wole, do you think that because of that lack of superior arm talent, that Carson was holding on to the ball?
Yeah, I'll tell you
that Taylor would get it out, or give it an opportunity for his playmakers to go do the rest. Do you think
it's a little different?
To the team?
No, because I think it's different. I think that, if it was just that Carson was holding the ball, I would agree. But we've seen games with 2 seconds pressure. If you watch the Bears game, it wasn't about holding the football. He was just getting blasted. Like, they were there and they were bringing blitzes and they were getting there. It's just a thing about this offense where teams have kind of keyed on, like, we're going to blitz you and we're going to get free. You know what I mean? It's not like Carson is like, there are games. Yes, we all agree. We've seen games where he held the football, but the last couple games, I feel like it wasn't just him holding the ball. It was just bad protection. You know what I mean? So to my issue is they have get that type of protection. You're going to have Taylor Heinicke go out there, drop back, and pass the football. You're going to get that same type of thing. You're going to get more. You're going to get turnovers. So Taylor Heinicke is a turnover pro. He had 15 interceptions last year.
You know what I mean? And that, to add to that, what you just mentioned, he also was sacked 38 times.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. People have revisionist. Like, people are living this whole, like, they got that temporary amnesia or something. I don't know what it is, but they feel like, oh man, he's definitely the guy, dude. And this is the thing. To Mo's point, and this is where I agree. I know what Mo is going with in terms of game planning. If you do they stopped throwing the football because he turned the football over a lot. They stopped doing it. To win football games, they went back to a running style. So what Mo was talking about, I think, Mo, what you were saying was that you could have did this with Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
You could have did the same exact thing with Carson Wentz and pretty much go play action and have your guys have that type of, one-on-one capability of getting the big explosive play off of play action because you're running the football.
Mm-hmm.
Scott turned aside to throw the football. That's what he wanted to do. Okay. So with Taylor Heinicke, you're going to run the football. You're going to run the football more because you do not trust one. You don't. He can't get the ball down the field like you want to vertically. So you're going to have to do things to kind of scheme up his deficiencies. So what his deficiencies are, he can't throw the ball deep down the field accurately all the time. So what you're going to do now is, like, you're going to run the football and play action off of that. Everybody's been roll out and do bootleg. Everybody has been clamoring for that, even with Carson Wentz. So you're going to do that more. The only difference is to what everyone's talking about, that he's mobile. But he's more mobile.
People forget too, though. He only completed 60% of his passes, right? 60% is not. 60% is not good in NFL, right?
No, it's not.
60% is not good. It's not good in grade school. It's not good here. So you got a quarterback where you have, as we mentioned on this show and multiple shows, you have weapons, right?
Yeah.
What's the point of having weapons if you can't use them or you can't get the ball to them. So what we're gonna see, and I mentioned a name, I forgot a name forgot a name that we didn't mention, that I didn't mention. You'll see a lot more Curtis Samuel. Since Taylor Heinicke's there, you'll see more bubble screens. You'll see more
bubble screens. More, because they do that enough already.
You're gonna see more shoot routes, right? You'll see a lot more things because you can remember he can't throw that deep ball. So you're gonna see things. He's gonna give the ball to his as moments. Last week they used Terry McLaurin more. They're gonna put more. They're gonna put the ball more in the athlete's hands, less than his hands, and let the athletes be athletes.
I agree. So I'm gonna read on Instagram on our All Burn and Go Instagram page. My man Master Shifu said this about Taylor Heinicke. He knows the offense. The offense knows him. He senses blitzes and runs out of the pocket when it collapses. All right. I mean, he runs out the pocket. I'll give you that much. He extends plays when they are no good. He can extend plays. That's fine. He's mobile. And he plays with his heart and soul. Again, this is my thing. So know what Taylor Heinicke reminds me of? He reminds me of, like, this is for fans. I'm going to be honest with you. He reminds me when somebody asks you, like, dude, why are you friends with that dude? And you think in the back of your head, like, yo, what does this dude have to offer? You can't say it. You can't explain it. You don't know. You're just loyal. You don't know what? That's just my dude. You know what I'm saying? You be like, yeah, he be doing some dirty stuff. Like, he an a-hole. But you know what? He loyal. Man, you know what? I just bunt with him. I'm a loyal dude. I bunt with him. No one has ever given me a real quarterback reason why Taylor Heinicke is that good. This is my issue with the Taylor Heinicke thing. This is the real talk. And I know I get blasted by not, because I think Sam Howell should start over him. I'm going to keep it 100. I think Sam Howell should start over him. And it's the reason why. You can name all the attributes: heart, soul, heart, and mobile. You ain't telling me nothing about him throwing the ball accurately. Usually when you're weak, like usually when you don't have an arm, typically, to Glen's point, he said 60% passing completion percentage. When you don't have an arm, at least you're accurate.
64, 65.
At least you're accurate. At least you're super accurate. Drew Brees, you could argue that his arm was decent. I mean, it was not strong, but it was decent. Chad Pennington, this is a guy that I grew up watching, like back in the day. Had no arm. Accurate. He didn't have an arm though, but he was accurate. Taylor Heinicke is the type of dude, when you watching, ball sales. Just the same thing that people talk about Carson. His ball sales, all this type of stuff. So this is my thing. Like, fans, what we talking about here, man? Y'all talking about this a rookie, a fifth round. We talking about Taylor Heinicke. We talking about him starting over. This is Taylor Heinicke. I'm not talking about Matt Ryan, a dude who's proven, who's done it before, who could be in a, like, I'm not talking about no Matt Ryan. I'm not talking about no Falco. I'm not talking about no Falco. I ain't talking about nobody. Like, at least them dudes, like Falco won a Super Bowl. Flacco. Sorry, Flacco. I said Falco. Flacco, maybe, bro. You say Flacco. I'm thinking. I
thought you was really talking about the replacements.
I know, my man, bro. Yeah, Flacco. Excuse me. Flacco won a bowl. I keep thinking about like Falco. When I think about Falco, I think about Flacco. When I think of like Matt Ryan, you could say Matt Ryan's on the tail end or whatever, but Matt Ryan was an MVP. Matt Ryan won Super Bowl. Like, if those are dudes we talking about, yeah, I can't argue. I don't even care if Matt Ryan's struggling. I'm with you. At least I know that I'm not gonna say, hey, you know what, Sam Howell should play over them, because your argument works. Like, them dudes done it before. Them dudes have been them dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a rock with that. But you can't fool me with no Heinicke, for real. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what he is. You got 15 games to know what he is. If you're trying to tell me you got the best chance to win with Heinicke,
okay.
Like, nah, you ain't. I'm not Bobo the Fool. You ain't gonna get me. Like, dude, I'm gonna say this. I don't care. Listen to this podcast. I think that Sam Howell is better than Heinicke right now. I think he's better than him right now.
So let's go. Let's play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this.
Yeah.
Washington goes to Green Bay comes here. Washington wins.
Yeah.
Washington wins against the Colts.
Yeah.
And or let's put it this way: they have a Cooper. Heinicke becomes the next Cooper Rush.
And I'm wrong. That's fine. I could be wrong.
No, here's my question. Not necessarily you being wrong. What does the fan base say?
Oh, they're gonna jump on the Heinicke wagon. But I will ask you this though: like, this is the same thing that they used last season compared to Carson Wentz. There is a difference of how Carson Wentz has been used compared to how Heinicke is used. Carson Wentz is used as go drop back and throw the football and give me them yards and give me them points. Heinicke is used as hand the football off. Let's be a manager, and we're going to do some play action off of this. There's two different ways of being used. So this is the thing, even for like the argument of me wanting Sam Howell to be used. Dude, if you're going to tell me that all Sam Howell is going to be doing is hand the ball off to Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson and play action off of that, why can't he start? Like, for real, why can't he start? What does Heinicke do if that's the offensive game plan?
You don't want to kill your rookie's confidence, man. You know the offensive line is bad. You have more money invested in this rookie, Sam Howell, and you want to bring him along. You want to bring him along.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. He ain't gonna get but so many games to prove that he's gonna be the dude, because they're gonna be as bad as we think they're gonna be. Don't worry about it. Sam Howell won't be the quarterback. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Right. Like, but you let this guy be your number 2. You named this guy your number 2 at the beginning of the season, right?
Man, nobody.
They named this guy number 2.
Who?
All right. Heinicke number 2. He was named number 2.
Oh, they named him number 2. This
not you. The organization. The organization named him number 2, right? Yeah. The organization said he's the second string quarterback, which implies to most people, those who listen online don't see my quotation marks. Mm-hmm. Those who watching us on YouTube see my quotation marks.
Of course.
All right. Apply him to be the number 2 quarterback. Now you can't skip over him because the guy that you want to take the spot has been inactive all season.
It's inactive for games, yes.
Inactive for games, right? Inactive for games. So you want to make sure you give Heinicke the opportunity to either stink up the place or be real good.
Right.
Because now give him the chance to audition for somebody else, because you know
you're next. You go next.
Both of these quarterbacks may not be in town, right? Next year. Carson Wentz may not be in town. Heinicke may be not in town. And the keys may be given to Sam Howell, right? Or if that's the case. Or I've heard people say, why didn't they go get another quarterback? Why didn't they go get a Cam Newton?
I bet said that, but it's okay though.
Please leave Cam Newton out this.
Yeah, you know what
I know, but it's been discussion about that though.
I mean, Cam Newton's been a Heinicke, but go ahead though, bro. Continue.
Not this Cam Newton.
Man, I'll take this broke Cam Newton.
I know you will, but not this guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll take a guy who's done something. At least he had the Patriots at a decent clip before he was done. I think it was like 9-79 or 9-7. Hey, go ahead though, man. You got it. Mo, you next, man. I just think that Heinicke
is the best option because there is experience there.
Experience.
There's experience there.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Quotation marks, people who's listening to this audio, right? Experience over Sam Howell. Sam Howell is a rookie.
Yeah.
The offensive line is decimated right now. You do not want him to come in and get tagged up, and it dwarfs his confidence. We've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
So he's been inactive for all the games. Yeah. That'd be a tall order for him to leapfrog Taylor. I think Taylor comes in, Taylor performs. You see the Taylor experiment for 2 to 3 weeks, right? And you see how it goes. And if a change needs to be made, then a change needs to be made. But like Glenn said, 2 or 3, both of these guys may be out of here by the end of the year.
Oh, probably so.
Maybe out of here by the end of the year. So give Taylor a chance to see if they can keep the team competitive or in games. When Carson comes back, a decision will be made as to Carson plan. And then towards the end, if you want to look at Sam Howell, at least at that point, he's gotten quality backup reps, right, at practice. And then that would be the proper time to put him in towards the end, right? And you give him a shot to see if he can do something that'll leapfrog him into next year and what they want to do for next year. But I don't see a world where Sam Howell can come in and do better than Taylor Heinicke.
Also, I think he can. You know what I mean? Because I don't think of Taylor Heinicke any way different than I think him lower than everybody else. I don't think he's that anything. Like, I feel like they're a bunch of dudes. Like, he plays with heart, but I think that, to me, Sam Howell plays with heart. Like, all the arguments, other than like being in the system, but again, I would argue that like what they're going to ask him to do is going to be quite limited. This is what they're going to ask Taylor Heinicke to do: bubble screen, hand the ball off, dump the ball off to McKissick. He's gonna take a shot to Scary. He'll take a shot to Scary. Probably, and he can, and he'll help some plays. What I will say, he allows Scary to make a play. He'll give him an opportunity to make a play. Also sets him up to be injured because he does throw them balls where you can get hurt. So he'll put it out there. But this defense, this offensive staff, Scott Turner, #fire Scott Turner, #fire Scott Turner, will they'll run the football and they'll just play it off of that. I'm just saying, if you're going, because I've seen this before.
He'll bootleg too.
He'll bootleg. But see, I'm gonna keep it a buck. They did this, and people forget this, and you can, if you watched him play early in his career. I'm not comparing it to, believe me, but I'm just comparing systems. When Bill Cowher, when they drafted Big Ben, they were like, nah, you ain't throwing the football like that. You run the football, we running with the bus, and we play action and off of that. They ran the ball majority of the time.
But that defense was top
great
two,
point.
top
Great
league.
point. But the way their defense, I agree with you. That defense was good. But certain games, you can play that style. You could play that style. To be honest with you, you could probably, if you play ball position, you could probably play that style this Sunday. Just the way that team is playing. Though I'm with you, Mo. I don't like to doubt Aaron Rodgers. I don't. But but we're looking at the eye test.
Yeah, but
take the name off the jersey, right? Let's keep just like Russell Wilson, right? We would say that, a lot of people say that about Russ. Take the name off the jersey, right? Just take the name off the jersey. If we're going off of what the product has been on the field, right? You can say going into that game, you can play a particular type of style, and you have a chance to win the football game. You never know any given Sunday, but if you run that particular style of like run the football, manage, you have a chance to win that football game.
Yeah, I think they do. I think this team.
I'm not saying they're going to win though. I'm not saying.
No. I'm saying if you take the name off, you take just watching the other game the other day. I watched the Green Bay Jets game, and I saw
that was horrible football too.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible football. But the front four of the Washington Commanders, I believe, is better than the front four of the New York Jets.
The Jets front four good though. I ain't gonna hold you.
The front four.
Williams, you got. Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing. The front four of the Commanders have been playing really. It's been playing really good. I'm not going to.
So I believe they can add that much pressure, and you've seen the pressure.
They don't got no Sauce Gardner though. That's that boy Sauce Gardner.
No, we don't have that Sauce Gardner. We don't have a Gardner corner. We don't have no lockdown corner, right?
That boy Sauce Gardner though.
But they can give. I believe that this team could give Aaron Rodgers some fits. The head coach seems he rattles a little bit. They're pressing in Green Bay right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cobb is out, which is probably his best weapon at the moment. His safety. Again, I'm not saying I feel like you could run that style against this game. I'm not saying that you could win. It's the best style to play. I'll be honest with you. You don't want to have Preston Smith, and I think it's Gary. Yeah, for Green Bay rushing the passer, because they're individuals who can get pressure. So, I mean, I think you have to play a conservative style of football to kind of be in this game. We got to win the time of possession. But I just don't. For me, the whole Taylor Heinicke thing is just a bunch of whatever. I feel like it's just like me complaining I want Colt McCoy to be my starter over somebody else. You ain't gonna get me off of that. It's Taylor Heinicke, bro. No, that's what I'm saying. No, all the fans out there. Oh, they still got a chance. No, look, man. Until you start winning real games, then we can talk about having a chance. You 2-4, it don't look good. Did anybody watch the Bears game? Are we really doing this? That's what I'm saying. Have we watched the last 3 some the Titans game?
To watch, bro.
The Titans games was winnable, game. But that's bad coach. This is
no. They're a bad football team.
No. Let's not say you can't throw out all right, for instance, the Bears. What was the Bears record? The record Bears before they're 2-4 now. The Bears are 2-4.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, 2-4. Bears are 2-4. The Bears know they ain't winning. No. They know they ain't winning games like that. They're not going to be they're obviously going to play they're going to play their young quarterback. And I'm not knocking it. But I'm saying it's not this whole thing about, oh man, the season's still not over. I ain't saying season, but bruh,
there's a lot of season left.
It's a lot of season, bruh. Let's be realistic. You can play the other dude. It ain't like the season is that thorough.
It's a couple of nails in the coffin.
The Giants and the Cowboys and the Eagles look way better. I don't care. There's one player. They're a game out of a playoff spot. I don't even care. I'm about show me a good product. You ain't showing me a product for me to say that you still got a chance. You ain't showing me that product. That's what I'm saying. I'm just being honest. You ain't showing me that product. So I'm if you ain't showing me that type of product for me to think that, all right, look, man, I don't care what this whole narrative about Taylor Heinicke better than Carson. Dude, last year alone, Carson Wentz, I don't care if he had Jonathan Taylor. Like last year alone, Carson, at the end of the day, throwing the football, Carson Wentz had 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. All right. Taylor Heinicke had 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, turned the football over, one of the lowest QBRs in the NFL. Stop it. Like, stop it. So, no, I'm not going to grandstand and be like, Taylor Heinicke should be starting over this. No, so if I say that he should be that Sam Howell, who had an opportunity to be a first-round pick that some people had a couple years ago, like a year ago or two, whatever, and now he's a fifth-round pick. If I want to say that he has a better chance to be a better starter than Taylor Heinicke, an undrafted player, I'm okay saying that, people. I don't care.
I just don't think there's any merit there, man. I don't see where there's any merit there yet. Yeah. I think let him come in as a back. I think let him back. Get his backup snaps this week.
This is what I'm hoping happens, though. I ain't gonna lie. This is backup, cause I like to be not for you, Mo, or you, Glenn, because I'm cool with y'all. But for Twitter folks, I want to be like I told you so for a lot of folks. This is what I want. Like I want to aspire this to happen. I want this to happen. I want Taylor Heinicke to be Taylor Heinicke. Then eventually whatever happens. This is what I'm kind of wishful thinking about. I obviously want the team to win, but then Sam Howell comes and lights it up, and then people gonna be like, "Damn, he should have started it earlier the season." And then they would have had it. Maybe he could have had a chance to make the postseason. I've been like, "Yeah," because you decided to go with Taylor Heinicke, not freaking. I'm trying to think of a low tier quarterback that's decent, but probably on the bench. I can't even think of one. Like
we could have said Geno Smith, but Geno.
I could have said Geno McBall. Geno's all right. I was gonna say Geno, but yeah, I'm trying to not even Geno. I can't even think of one. Like Marcus Mariota. Like even I would laugh at him starting with Marcus Mariota. Like what the? I can't even what's happening here? We talking about freaking Taylor Heinicke. Like this town has lost it. Taylor Heinicke.
But but the problem is the town is looking for a savior, right? Everybody else got a quarterback.
Yes,
this town is looking for a savior. They're looking for somebody, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like Taylor Heinicke is like their best friend, and like they just can't, and they just gotta stick up for him.
And he's a humble. And you forget, this kid's a humble guy.
I feel bad because I feel like now I feel bad. I feel like because I'm not.
People are always going to root for people that people that play hard, that give it all they got.
I agree.
That are gutsy.
I agree.
That are gutsy.
It's true.
And before last year, you guys were hanging. A lot of people were hanging on to that playoff game.
But you know what? It's called seeing a body of work. I did.
It is.
When I saw that one game, I was like, yeah, he was boy rock.
But it's also called defensive coordinators knowing what you can do.
There you go.
For sure. So now it's upon, speaking of coordinators,
yes,
it's upon someone to do what they should do.
Yeah, they're gonna run the football. I mean, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna run the football.
My only thing I like the fact that they're gonna run the football. Like Brian Robinson doesn't wow me at running back.
Oh, this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. I'm gonna be
honest.
But
he is steady, right? He is steady.
But I know where you're going with it. But this is what I will say to that, though. And I agree with you, Mo. Just freaking do it from the first quarter on, and don't do it in the third.
Right.
Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson throughout the first, second, and third. What he did was try to showcase a dude got shot in the leg, for 2 quarters and a half, basically. He got all the carries, basically, for 2.5.
Yeah, like 3 carries.
Yeah,
Gibson
bro.
only had 3 carries.
Yeah, and then when you use Gibson, he was effective. Like, nah, this is not what you do.
If this was any other time, I'd have been like, yeah, go ahead. But Gibson has actually hung on to the football.
Yes.
And he actually has ran
dude,
hard.
He was averaging like 8 yards a carry.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He was
this is not rocket science, dog. Like you gotta, you're in a situation where it's really not hard. Like you got teams that
he's in a situation he never had these toys before, though. Think about his turn there. He's never had 2 running backs who really could go.
This dude is just a bad coordinator.
But I think when you think about the toys, though, I think
it's too much for him.
When you think about the toys, I think it's the other way around. I think he got the big arm quarterback this year that he's been waiting for. I think he has the 3 receivers that he was like, okay, I can do some things with. And that's why it was so pass heavy early on, because it's like Carson can actually attack the ball down, attack the field down, deep.
Yeah.
So
deep,
it's like, let me now call some plays that I haven't called before, but it wasn't manifesting too much, right? And then you got Curtis Samuel dropping beautiful dimes across the middle.
No one talks about that. Like I'm saying,
like Christ.
No one
that drop on the doorstep of the end zone.
It's a terrible drop.
Was so, oh my God, unforgivable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, see, and that's the thing when people trash Carson. It's like you're gonna ignore like that pass.
You're gonna
like
that pass
changes a lot.
It changes a lot.
It changes a lot, bro.
Touchdown.
Yeah, it changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we're gonna fixate on whatever. Look, man. I'm real. Like Carson hasn't played well. Like it's a fact. Like no one's gonna he hasn't played well. He's had games or two, had stretches, but he had inconsistency. No, he hasn't been played well at all. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like some of the people, like this whole narrative that they're trying to put out there, like he's like the worst thing ever. Like, bruh, like
he's not the worst thing ever. I mean,
no, man. There's bad quarterback playing a lot, and there's bad quarterback playing in the NFL, bro. Like it's one.
But you know what? People amazes me, right? They amaze me when you talk about he's the worst thing ever, right? He's putting up the numbers, right? If you think, he's putting up the numbers. Just think about it this way.
Wentz was top 5 at the time. He was a top 5 at the time.
Yeah, Wentz just put.
But a lot of people will argue that was in trailing in the game.
Yeah, it was. I won't say Jacksonville game. Nah, that was 300 fair, 300 easy.
Fair game.
The Detroit game, trailing, but he did get it to a competitive level when they came back. But it was trailing. But it's not like
they're gonna say it's empty calories on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's still in it. It's not like it was a blowout and like you just getting dummy stats. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like it wasn't a mix of coming back and had an opportunity to come back.
Opportunity to win the game.
Yeah, exactly. And in the Titans game, he still had a good whatever. So
again, goes back to my point.
Stats.
It's not the worst stats, but go to my point. If they win those 3 games, you name, they could easily win a Titan game. Yeah. They could have won a Titan game, and we all said the Lions kind of called the dogs off a little bit.
Yeah, they did. I agree with that. I think they did kind of.
But if the Lions but they still had an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah, they were still in the midst of a game. That was the Giants' fault. Like they're still in the midst of winning the game.
Right. So now you take those, give them those 3 wins. This team is in the mix. And are we having this? If Carson Wentz go out, are we having a conversation about? Are the fans having a conversation about garbage? Carson Wentz is garbage.
But you know how narratives go, though, Glenn. You know how narratives go. Had they won 2 or 3 of those games, right, and they were in the mix, then everybody would be praising Carson Wentz in the sense of that he's the reason for that. So with him getting hurt, it'd be like, oh, we're about to have a letdown because Taylor Heinicke's coming in.
Bingo. But bingo. So that's my point. Let's not change who it is because of the record of the football team.
Yeah.
If Carson Wentz is not playing well, he's not playing well. All the losses are not on him. The defense did give up a lot of points. Secondary stinks, right?
Yeah, that's what
and so same thing.
Coaching stinks too.
But you know, quarterback is the one position
that you're gonna get the
blame. There's a lot of credit is given and a lot of blame is given. Right?
Taylor Heinicke gets credited for like 7 wins last year.
Yeah,
like he's getting all the credit. But if you know who was winning that game, it was that running game. But he was getting a lot of the credit.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Raiders, Raiders game.
Because Gibson was a top 10 running back last year.
Right? Hell yeah. And even if you keep it a buck, like the game, I guess the last game before the streak ended, that's the Raiders game, maybe. I think it's the Raiders game. The dude almost threw like 2 picks on that last drive. Like, look, man, like. I'm just amazed at the Heinicke love, man. It's amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's amazing to me.
It's amazing.
I think people see themselves in Heinicke.
I agree.
And I think people can't get past that, right?
I agree.
When you look at Carson Wentz, people don't walk around 6'5", rocket arm. This prototype. People don't see themselves in Carson Wentz, but they do this. They do see themselves in a young, scrappy guy that had to climb his way up. Yeah. He went to a lower level school. Now that they're a bigger level school now, but back when he was there, they were a lower level school.
Yeah. Well, they just started the program. Started the program. I think he was one of their first quarterbacks.
Type guy.
He was. What started the program?
Yeah, I think when the program came back, Heinicke was one of their first quarterbacks in the program. Back at Old Dominion University. For those who don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, but if Heinicke out here on YouTube and he sees this, I don't want to think I have like a grudge against him. I don't just like Heinicke as a person. I'm just amazed that there's like this. He's like the Peter Piper. Like this dude got.
But why are you amazed though, Wole? This fan base has always looked for someone to be savior, savior, right?
Bingo.
There's a savior complex. Everybody wants this organization to do well. Like everybody here wants this organization to restore themselves.
Yeah, it's a fan supposed to.
And they're going, and with Carson coming with all the clout that he had and just producing at a 2-4 level and having, almost a 1-5 level, because that Chicago game could have went anyway.
1-5, 0-6.
0-6.
Jacksonville could win anyway.
We're going to give them Jacksonville because they won it, but because
they could have won it a different way, bro.
Remember, he threw two picks in Jacksonville that cost them the lead.
Right. Yeah. In the fourth. So
he hit a bad.
So people are always looking for the next step. Like, look at all this talk down there in Dallas with Cooper Rush. Like, people really were on this.
Exactly. That's what I told folks.
Like, look, man. People love the backup, man. The backup is the fan favorite in every city.
The backup is crazy
until he starts dropping those.
Until they do what backups do.
They do what backups do. That's why I was telling folks.
Like, or coordinators do what they do.
Yeah, coordinators. Trash.
When coordinators catch up with you.
Yeah. Hashtag fire Scott Turner.
They had the same problem down there in Big D, right? Kellen Moore called a different game than when Dak was in there.
No, what he does though. Yeah, he does. But
he calls a completely different game.
I don't think Kellen Moore is good at all, but he's better than Scott Turner. I know that much.
Fair enough.
I know that much. I will tell you that.
Let's talk about the score, man. What we got the score at? I think we done decided we done dissected this all the way. Let's get us some scores so we can tell, so the fans can have something to come back for.
All right, I'll go first. Packers. I got the Packers winning. Packers. This team doesn't score by so much, but I know the Packers don't score by so much either right now. There's 17-10 Packers.
Glen.
I'm gonna give a weird number right here. 15-12, the Washington Commanders. Because I don't think this Packers team is going to get it together by this week.
Whew. You know my rule of thumb. You always go with the better quarterback. I'm going Aaron Rodgers 24-14.
Okay, you got him 14. That's more than they typically score.
24-14. I gotta believe that Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon.
See, it ain't going. See, that's my thing. This team is stopping the run of late. That one run.
I gotta believe that there's a play there. I gotta believe that there's one. I know that Randall Cobb is out, and Rodgers is gonna have the rookies. But you're talking about a 6'5" advantage, a 6'5", 230-pound, 30-pound wide receiver in Lazard. You're talking about Romeo Doubs on the other side, and we know. And I don't get me wrong about Romeo Doubs. He's not a world beater, but we do know that this Washington defense.
It's the quarterback. That's all I care about. It's the quarterback.
This Washington defense is giving up a lot, and if Fuller's going to play the way he's been playing, Aaron Rodgers will turn back the clock in no time.
Let's guarantee this though. Guarantee. I do have one. Guarantee Fuller gives him a touchdown. I can guarantee it. Like it happens every week. I guarantee Fuller is giving up a touchdown. I don't know how we gonna do it, but it's an every week thing. You know what I mean? Like he's giving up a touchdown. I don't know if he loses. It's in the slot. I don't know if he's outside, but the boy giving up a touchdown. Guarantee you that. That I guarantee. I don't feel comfortable picking this game. I ain't gonna lie to you because I don't really. I truth be told, I think I didn't know. I thought they can work without Devontae Adams. Obviously, I was wrong. Like
they're struggling.
It's consistent though. That's one thing I'll say. They've been consistently this way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the one thing I'll say. It doesn't really matter. Like teams you think they would blow out. Even the Bears, they were struggling with the Bears for a while before they kind of turned it on. Like. But again, like Mo said, you got Aaron Rodgers, though. You have an opportunity. That's why I feel like
if they play the way they played against Chicago,
Washington,
Aaron, you cannot give Aaron Rodgers that many possessions. I think Aaron Rodgers is not going to convert.
That's why you run the football.
Yeah. I agree.
That's why you
cannot give Aaron Rodgers that many.
Oh, I agree, bro. No, I agree.
Keep the ball out of his hands, dog. Keep him on the sideline.
He A-Rod, man. That's what makes him great, man. I mean, he's still good to me. He hurt though. He coming in this thing injured too a little bit, but
Bakhtiari is getting better every week in terms of his health. Tunyon is getting better every week. He had a big game last week.
Ain't look good. I mean, Tunyon look good, but the linemen didn't look good though. Them linemen didn't look good. They ain't get healthy, but they ain't look good though, bro. Like they ain't look good. And it's going to be like this. They're going to get. similar pressure. And this is one thing I will say about Aaron Rodgers, though, real talk. And we talk about other quarterbacks holding the ball, but he's just different, though. Aaron holds the ball. Like, Aaron will give you an opportunity. He holds the ball because he wants to make a big play because he's good at it, though. He's Aaron Rodgers.
But he also gets the ball out fast.
He get that ball out quick, too.
Yeah, but you got he do. But like when he's looking for his type of thing, he'll hold the ball. And this is one thing I'll say about Washington. Historically against Aaron Rodgers, they do decently against Aaron Rodgers. Historically speaking.
I think when the last time he played.
Again, I'm not one to say even though the game in Lambeau, they competed with Taylor Heinicke. It's just they just got you got Taylor Heinicke as your quarterback because I guess Scott Turner was trying to do what he does, throw the football with Taylor Heinicke. So it is what it is. That's what Scott Turner does. He can't help it. He likes to throw the football. Even with lesser tier quarterbacks. All right, anyway, this has been a dope show. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and go Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. I like our All Burgundy and Go Errrything Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything YouTube channel. Subscribe, like this video when you see it. Then like the video under that, then the other video too.
You guys should comment too, man. Give us some material to
get
back at you guys. Comment.
Yeah, comment too. That too. We get those. Some of y'all ignorant though.
BYOC.
Yes, but some of y'all ignorant though. I gotta make sure I can't read all y'all stuff. Some of y'all ignorant.
BYOC, bring your own comment.
Y'all be still
keep it PG so we can answer your questions on the show.
True. Yep. And know what? To Mo's point though, if you have a question about anything we said right here, comment and we'll raise it on the next show. Yeah. We may make it a topic. Who knows, man? So it is what it is. Hey, man. Anyway, this has been a dope show. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, Mega. Lead us out, big homie.